Now, Prince Ogun and Prince Uwaifiokun had spent many months living deep in the forest. They did not know that their brother Oba Egbeka was dead, or that his wife and child had fled to escape the wrath of the Uzama nobles. Nor did they know that two messengers had been sent into the forest, one to find and bring back Prince Uwaifiokun, and another to eliminate Prince Ogun. But that would all change. After weeks of traveling through the forest, the princes arrived at Irrua, a quiet town deep in Esanland. Coincidentally, it was market day when they reached there, and the town was buzzing with activities. The brothers decided they would stay here for a short while, and as they watched the activities, Prince Uwaifiokun saw a little boy running into a market woman's stall to steal some food. Quickly, he reached over and grabbed the boy's hand. Don't you know it's not good to steal? He said to the little boy.
An angry mob gathered around the woman's stall. They were about to seize the boy.
The market woman, who was also the market leader, stopped the mob. Her name was Mama Igbe. She was called Mama Igbe because she had 10 children. She was the wife of the Onojie of Irrua, and she requested that they give the boy to her so she could deal with him. Reluctantly, the mob handed the little boy over to her, expecting her to punish him severely. Instead, she sat him down and gave him food to eat. The hungry little boy ate every morsel of it, and when he was done,
Mama Igbe warned him to never steal food, and she told him,
"You owe me for today's food. From tomorrow, you must come here every day to work for me, and I'll pay you with food." The boy agreed, so she packaged some more food for him and sent him on his way. Then she turned to the brothers and thanked them, inviting them to her home for supper. When they arrived at her home, Isen, her fifth child, cooked delicious morsels, then brought it out for the brothers to eat. Immediately Prince Uwaifiokun saw her. He fell deeply in love with her. She was the most beautiful girl he had ever seen, and he knew he wanted to marry her. The brothers were very hungry as they hadn't eaten all day. So quickly they wolfed down their food. Uwaifiokun's eyes never left Isen. The Onojie, who was an old but wise man, noticed that the brothers had an air of royalty about them. He knew from their accent that they were from Great Benin. He watched Prince Ogun, who seemed more relaxed, and he noticed how he spoke with sincerity and confidence. But the other brother, Uwaifiokun, who was more handsome, had a fast tongue and seemed insincere, and the Onojie did not like that. He also noticed that Uwaifiokun's eyes had not left his daughter since she served them supper, and he was not happy about that either. His daughter Ise was a very beautiful girl. When they were done eating, they left the house. His Uwaifiokun was quiet. "What's going on in that head of yours, brother?" Prince Ogun asked. Prince Uwaifioku then told him that he had fallen in love with Ise and wanted to marry her. There was only one problem. Both him and his brother were fugitives. With no home, how could he, a poor outlaw, meet the Onojie to ask for his daughter's hand in marriage? The next day, Prince Uwaifiokun was at the market when he saw Ise standing at her mother's stall. He walked up to her and confessed his love for her. Ise wasn't surprised because she knew she was beautiful, but she also knew how attached her father was to her and that he wouldn't let just any nobody marry her. So told Prince Uwaifiokun that if he could bring back the head of Igbe, a leopard that lived in the forest, then the Onojie would have no choice but to allow them to wed. Uwaifiokun agreed. He was a skilled hunter, and his brother was an even better hunter. Together, they could hunt and kill anything, spirit or man. So Uwaifiokun went back to his brother, tell him what was said. On hearing the demands, Prince Ogun was upset. The leopard was a powerful spiritual symbol of power in Great Benin and was loved by the Benin royal family. The last Oba had created a law to ban the hunting of leopards, but they were no longer in Great Benin. They were in Irrua. This was a different town with different rules.
And despite his reservations, he decided to help his brother. Together, they entered the forest and spent many days and nights setting traps all over to catch the leopard. After a few nights with no success, they agreed to separate, each going to a different part of the forest to increase their chances of success. Prince Uwaifiokun was relegated to the west part of the forest, and it was there that Omada, the messenger sent to ask him to return, found him. Immediately Prince Uwaifiokun sighted Omada, he recognized him as a deadly assassin, and at first he crouched down in a fighter's stance, poised to strike him, but then he relaxed when he noticed the Ada sword in Omada's hand. The Ada sword was a symbol of peace and authority in Benin land, and Omada carrying it meant he came with good news. The prince greeted his kinsman and then invited him to sit under a tree and tell him about home. Omada told him that he wasn't here to kill him, but to deliver a message from the Uzama nobles. Omada informed the prince that his brother Oba Egbeka had been poisoned, and his wife and child had fled for their lives, and their whereabouts were unknown. Omada also told Prince Uwaifiokun that the Uzama nobles were in favor of him to be the next Oba of Great Benin. He urged the prince to return to Ubinu immediately, as the journey was long and arduous. Prince Uwaifiokun was grief-stricken by the news of his brother's death. Omada then told him that an assassin had been sent to track down his brother and kill him. This comment enraged Prince Uwaifiokun, but he disguised his anger and extended his hand to shake Omada's hand. Prince Uwaifiokun swiftly drew a dagger and slit his throat. It was an act of revenge for the terrible news that had been delivered. Meanwhile, Prince Ogun, who had gone to the west of the forest, heard a terrifying noise and rushed to investigate. He found the leopard caught in a trap. It was in so much pain that it was roaring in agony. The prince's heart softened towards the leopard. There and then he knew he could not kill the leopard, as it would be a terrible abomination that would displease the ancestors. So he decided to set the leopard free. He approached the leopard and said, "Do not worry, I'm not going to hurt you." Then he knelt down at the foot of the leopard and set him free. Unknown to them, the assassin was also in the forest searching for Prince Ogun, and the roars from the leopard had also alerted the assassin to their whereabouts. So now he watched from his hiding place as the prince helped release the leopard. "There you go," Prince Ogun said to the leopard. "You are now free." The assassin then decided that this was the right time to strike and aimed his arrow at Prince Ogun. But before he could release the arrow, another arrow flew past the leopard's ear and struck the assassin in the heart. The arrow was from Prince Uwaifiokun, who had arrived just in time. The rapid movement of the arrow scared the leopard, and it quickly took to its heels, leaving behind one dead assassin and two relieved brothers. While Prince Ogun was grateful that his brother had rescued him, Prince Uwaifiokun was not happy, because now he had no chance of marrying Isen. He was so angry with Prince Ogun that he did not tell him what had transpired between him and Omada. When they arrived back at Irrua, Isen was upset to see that they had come back empty-handed. She told Prince Uwaifiokun that while he was gone, a wealthy Esama with a hefty bride price had come from another town and asked for her hand in marriage, and her father had agreed. Her wedding was to take place in 3 days' time. Prince Uwaifiokun was devastated, as there was nothing else he could do in such a short time, but Prince Ogun decided he would help his brother. So that night, while Prince Uwaifiokun was asleep, Prince Ogun went back into the forest, waiting for the leopard. He had fallen asleep when he heard a noise, so he stood up. A blinding light magically shone, and from it came Eshu. Eshu was a messenger of the gods and king of the underworld. I have come with a message from the gods, he said. The gods have found favor in you because you showed great strength by not killing the leopard. So we want to gift you a magic talisman. With this talisman, anything you desire and pull out from the bag will be yours. Meanwhile, Uwaifiokun had seen his brother sneak out of their tent and had followed him into the forest. He heard everything the god Eshu had said, but didn't reveal himself to his brother. Instead, he went back home. Back in the forest, Prince Ogun thanked the god, and to test his new gift, he imagined himself holding a beautiful magical coral necklace. When he put his hand inside the talisman, he was happy to see a beautiful magical necklace with red coral beads sparkling in his hand. He had never beheld anything so expensive, and he was so happy that he quickly rushed home to show his brother. At home, he gave his brother the necklace and told him to give it to the Onojie of Irrua as a bride price for Isen. Prince Uwaifiokun did not ask him any questions, but the next day he got up and went to the palace of the Onojie. The Onojie saw the beautiful necklace, but was not happy. He suspected foul play, and he knew this was no ordinary necklace. He knew a bit about magic and knew that only the person who created that necklace could gift out the necklace. So he told Prince Uwaifiokun that he could marry his daughter only if she truly loved him. And to test that, he told them that in their culture, it is usually the groom's relative who wore the bride her fresh jewelry as a sign that the bride was welcome in their home. So Prince Ogun was asked to wear Isen the magical coral necklace. And as soon as he did, she fell deeply in love with him and refused to marry Prince Uwaifiokun. The Onojie was relieved because he preferred Prince Ogun as a son-in-law, and he promised Prince Ogun that if he married his daughter, he would gift him a beautiful mansion and his very own army to command. Prince Ogun had no choice but to accept, and this angered his brother very much. He believed his brother had betrayed him, and he swore to make him pay. Ise, who was now Prince Ogun's new wife, continued to grow in her love for him. And the people of Irrua also grew to love and respect Prince Ogun. All these events left Prince Uwaifiokun very angry and more jealous than ever of his brother. One day, Prince Ogun and his men went into the forest to hunt. Unfortunately, he injured his foot on an old trap and could not continue the hunt. The prince decided to rest under a sacred Uloku tree. Then he fell asleep and had a dream. In his dream, he saw himself back in the royal palace in Great Benin. In front of him was the Oba's throne, but it was vacant and there was not a soul in the throne room. Quickly, he woke up from his dream. Then suddenly, the Uloku tree came to life. It told him to go to Uhumidum in the eastern outskirts of Ubinu. There he will find a street perfectly lined with trees of palm nuts. And in the house of a door with carvings portraying animals, he would find his destiny.
Prince Ogun was reluctant to leave his new home and wife, but he decided to embark on this new journey and discover his destiny.